Hey, this is Real Talk Chimp, live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. This is part 2 of the building of the 3D wooden puzzle, the Beika-Cho convenience store. 2-story convenience store on the bottom, detective center up top. Last we left you, where we had basically built a convenience store here. One of the walls, the ceiling, staircase going up to the detective agency, battery box cover, and we'll continue on this part 2 here. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. And we'll get down to the shenaniganery in just a moment. Just going to check YouTube, make sure we are live streaming and that we have audio. Live streaming, that we have audio. Perfect. I hear everything. Okay, building the 3D Book Nook kit of the Beika-Cho convenience store part dos. Okay, the last we left you, we were working on this one here, which was 41. So we had put that wall on in front of that display case there. And that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. And then we built this back wall right here. This one here. And we put this ceiling piece on here. Okay, so now we're moving on. Hopefully we can complete this kit in this live session here. It looks like we're going to be moving on to adding the LED lights in here. Okay, we got a little bit of a complicated start here of 44. So we'll be looking for C10. Let's get our plates here. So we have A, we have B, so here's C. Everybody else over there. Okay, so C10. We have a C10 right here. Okay. So we're gonna, it looks like we're building the battery box. So F46. Now I did see one of those pieces had fallen out the other day. Well, I'll have to look around for it. Okay, so we have D, here's F, so here's one of the F46 pieces, so here's the other F46 piece, okay, and then we need C9, C9, which is right here. Above C10. Okay. Let's see what they want us to do. So we're trying to make sure we got the orientation correct here. The 46 is on the side. We want this peg here facing upward. Okay. This guy facing in this direction. Oh, that does not want to fit at all, does it? All right, we get our file out. Thank you for the like, I appreciate it. Ooh, that is painful on the hands. As always, if it does not fit, you must acquit or get your frosted rod out, your file it down. All right, we have completed this battery box housing. So they now want us to connect the lights in here. So this battery box, it goes right there. So these pegs right here will go into those two slots right there. But before we do that, we need to get our LED wire harness out. And when we did the part 1, we did an unboxing as well as made sure that the LED lights were in fact working by putting the batteries inside. We connected the wires to the battery box. We connected the wires to the pressure switch, the touch switch as well. So we'll put said batteries in there so we don't forget them later. So we got to open that thing right there. Keyword try. Okay. We'll put these batteries inside. I call that the butt and that the top, or the bottom and the top. The bottom goes into the spring. Connect it there. Battery rolled away. So we take the bottom here, flat part there. There's also a diagram inside here what direction your battery is supposed to go. I'd say 1.57, but there was a V in there, and I thought the 7 was the V, but it was the wrong angle. So Charles Brown 4773, hello there. Baloney Engineering. Ooh, what we making? We are making this critter right here. This 3D wooden puzzle of the Beika-Cho convenience store and a detective agency based on an anime cartoon. I have all the information in the description. And we have classified collie. Hello. So as I said, there's a diagram right there. If you can see it, try to shine the light on there. It shows the bottom connecting to the spring and the top connecting to there. So we look for the bottom. Make sure we connect that. Then we'll reconnect the top of said box. We heard that. And now when we touch the touchpad, lights come on, yay. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. So if we were to put box in there, say, it doesn't really tell me which direction they want box, although they don't show box in there, so they may be doing it at a later time. So if we were to do that, and then I'm holding on to the battery with my other finger here, battery box here, so that I can press it in here, hopefully without causing any major disturbances in the force. Oh, a frightening sound, but that bone crunching sound is the sound you want it to make in there. You either get a squishy sound like of the parts coming together, or you get that frightening snapping sound of, sounds like a crunching of celery. Okay, so now we got to figure out how they want these light bulbs orientated in here. Okay, so we have 2 light bulbs and a whole lot of wire. So the 2 light bulbs look like they're just going to sit right here. Okay. It doesn't say to glue them in there, right? Just kind of press them in there. It says expose only 1/3 of the LED bulb. Bend the light wire as it is shown. Bend the light wire as it is shown. Okay, well, doesn't really determine which one. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the twisty out of here. It came with a twisty around it. Since there's so much, it's 25 centimeters of wire and a small confined space. So let's put the stump. We're going to hang on to that. We're going to put this back in its MRE pack. The little stickers we didn't need. Little piece that we didn't need. Okay, we're going to take the little twisty and reconnect this thing in here. Although we don't know where the tap switch is going to go, so we're going to push that off to the side and just connect these guys here to the twisty. Holy monkey, that's bright. Off. Thank you. All right, I'm going to connect the twisty here. Be hospitable, Sammy. Hospitable. There are 2 cats that moved in next door last month. Sammy is saying, nope, we are not having that. Okay, so we're going to bend these critters here. Let's see if we can bend these critters here. I'll give you 3 options: blue pill, red pill, green. If you do one of them, I will sub and like. Dude, I want all 3 of them, Grayson. You can't tease me with just one. I want all 3. If I can't have all 3, then I don't know. I choose the purple one. You either sub because you enjoy the content or you don't. I don't play those kinds of games, man. I'm sorry. My psychic skills are kind of busy at the moment. But if I had to choose, I would say, since you like green gummy bears, I'm going to go with the green one. Tell me if that's wrong. These things don't really want to stay in there, into their little slot. So, and it doesn't tell me to glue them in there. So that seems a little counterproductive, especially if it's going to produce some kind of heat. There we go. Well, we pressed them down in there. Holy monkey. Okay, let's see what else. So, yeah, I guess it does kind of show the wires being coiled up onto the left side. So if that's the case, then we got to change the orientation of the battery box, but I think it's going to be a major problem. Hopefully we don't break that apart. Okay, good. We will just flip this around. Okay. So you show everything coming off of this side here. Put that back in there. All right. So now we have the wires coming off out of the left side here, according to the orientation on here. The wires on the left side. But then they also want us to put these little critters to hold down the wires as well. So those are D16. Here we go. We have D16 right here. I'm kind of off camera here, punching these pieces out. I just don't want them to go flying. Oh, we're about to lose a ceiling tile. Okay, D16, D16. Thank you, sir. All right, so now these guys are used to hold the wires down, hold them in place. So we're going to put our fingers there. We're going to try our best to take this critter and put them into the slot, 2 slots right there. Try is the key word. Well, I guess we got a file. Our frosted rod has runneth over. So we're going to get a new one out of our sassy little toolkit. The sassy little toolkit is also in the description on how or where you can buy it. They sell them at Walmart, Target, Amazon is where I got mine, I believe. These little things come with most kits. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Fits much better now that it's filed down. So I'm going to try to press it in there without breaking them. Good. Okay. So we have secured down some wires right here. Let's see if I can get that to focus. No? Okay. Then we have another set. Right there, you see those 2 open slots there. So this critter will also be used. So I'm going to file down some of the parts in here as well. Okay, so now, let's see, we want that separate. We already have our twisty on here, but let's see if we can do this. Tuck that underneath there. Okay. As long as we don't tug on it, that should be pretty good. Light bulbs are in their spots. So if we tap the doohickey, we have a lighted up store. Tap it off, tap it on. Pretty neato. So we'll look at it from underneath here. There's our LED, and it's like between that wall and that wall, so you get a little bit extra light in here. So that's super cool. All right, we'll put this little critter aside. Let's turn that off. Oh. Oh, son of a monkey. Okay. All right. Hey, Ziga Grip. Hey there, Payne. 27. Yeah, these things are super cool. I think this is number 9 for me. And I have, if you look in like the short videos or the video section or whatever, you'll see that at first I wasn't live streaming building these things. I was purely just, recording, sections of it and then editing it down to 1 minute. And then, what took me like 6 hours, I edited down to like 6 minutes, and each minute was an episode. I was doing those with the paintings as well. But then I decided, you know what, I'm going to try one of these in first person. Like I have a gimbal around my neck, so you can see everything in first person. I tried a tripod, like going down at an angle so that you looked everything like this, but the phone kept falling off of it because it was too heavy. But anyway, I like doing the live streaming of these things now. All right, so since we have built on part 44 or stage 44, we have completed that battery box and hooked up the LED lights and put them in the locations that they needed to go. Bent the wires like it suggested. Bent the wires. So now, looks like we are working on this stage here. So what is that part? Oh, that's showing it connecting, wrapping it around and connecting it into the battery box. But now we're looking at connecting a wall here. So that looks like C1. So let's head over to C1. Here we go. Here's C1. C1 pointing to this big gray wall here. So we'll grab that. Karaoke is tonight. I'll ask if I'm allowed to, generally. I see people taking pictures and doing video and stuff like that. But you should be coming with me, Jess. You should just drive out here and come to karaoke tonight with me. That's what you should do. And you should live stream it. That's what you should do. I could try. I'll bring the gimbal with me and try and see. I did buy one of those, the thing you hold. It has like a tripod or whatever you call it that holds your cell phone on it. Again, my cell phone is super heavy, so it wants to fall off. All right, so there is the front of the store, and usually upstairs detective agency up yonder. But yeah, I could take a shot and try it. All right, so let's put this over here. So this open slot right here, let's try to get the phone to focus, will connect onto this tab right here. And these two tabs down here will connect onto these tabs here. So just like every real building, your floor is set up higher than the wall because your foundation is going to be underneath. And we will be building a foundation. So, okay, they want us to do it this way. So remember, we're going for that snappy sound, which I'm not getting at the moment. Oh, there's one snappy sound. There's more snappy sounds. Didn't get really any on the bottom. Well, we got to get the back here to go snappy. There's snappy sound. You got to be real gentle when you're putting these walls on because the parts inside, just like that, want to fall apart. Okay, so we have done that extremely narrow staircase there. So let's turn the light on so you can see inside there. Everything is so narrow in here. I was talking about this in part 1. Obviously in Japan, they don't have any ADA, American Disabilities Act. There's no way you're putting a wheelchair through these aisles. These aisles are meant for stick men, for slender man or something. Look how freaking tight these aisles are. Sam? What are you doing, monkey? Yeah, these aisles are ridiculous. You think of like a 7-Eleven or an AM/PM or anything like that, and the aisles are wide. Yeah, what's up, Sam? Hey, Sam, can you say hi to Jesse? You remember Jesse, my twin, my doppelganger, his doppelganger? Meow. Raz Void GD Official. Oh my God, it's Jessica Pika Hart. What? Just for Jessica, I have to, I'm doing a Japanese anime building here, but here, see if you can see what's hanging from the banana hanger right here. You see that right there? Hanging from the banana hanger right here? Our little buddy Beika-Cho. All right. Those of you that are inside of our live chat, the blue names on there are moderators. All right. Okay, so we connected that wall, which got us that. And I'm not sure what that is. That's that right there. Oh, I see. They want me to put the tappy part through this right here. So you want tappy part out the door? Well, I'm not sure why, but let's take tappy part and put it outside the door for now. Tappy part, that's tappy part. Turns the lights on and off. Outside the door, for whatever reason, that's where it wants it to go. Hanging outside that door, okay. All right, so now we'll move on. There's that, and there's that. We'll move on to 46 here. It says, take the touch line and add it to D19. So let's look for D19. Here's D19. That's the little touch symbol of where you're going to connect the critter. D19. Okay, and let's see where this goes. D19 also requires D16, which are these little curvy things again to hold down the wires. Okay, so we got those right there. Okay, so the touchpad is going to go here with the touchpad actually facing the cardboard. Now, how it works, this pressure switch here, it works just like gloves, like when you buy those gloves with the sensitive fingertips and that you could touch like the screen of your tablets or whatever. Somehow, you could press through the cardboard or press the cardboard here, and it allows you to touch the touchpad. That's genius. I don't understand how it works, but all right, so they want this to go where? Well, first of all, we're going to bring it back through here because I don't think that's where it's eventually going to go here. Okay, let's bring them back inside. There's the touchpad. Let's figure this out. Okay, so you want me to orientate the board this way. It shows it going through there. I don't understand. There's no going through. Okay, so it tells us to hold on to it there and then put our little gizmos here. That's so bizarre. Okay, put the other gizmo here. Oops. Son of a mother father. We just put the gizmos on here and we'll slide this thing through, then press it down. That does not seem to work. Okay, we got it inside there. Okay, hopefully that's secured down. So if we touch, look at that. It's a little finicky, but it works. Crazy. Pretty neato. All right, so now where is this supposed to go? Okay, it's supposed to be up here. This is a flat roof, so this is not an Edo period like my other City Walk stuff. So we're gonna go try to get this in here. Oh, there we go. That's the sound we want to hear. Okay. Lovely. Lovely. Very cool. Okay, so So basically told us to connect that ceiling piece. And it just shows it what it looks like when it's flipped up on its side, down, and then clicked into that spot there and clicked into that spot. So that you have that, the wires. We connected the wires to the battery box already. It's just showing you if the battery box wasn't connected in there, the loose wires that you would eventually feed through. Okay, looks like we're building an air conditioning unit. Not sure what side that's going to go on, possibly this side here. Okay, so we'll set that aside. And now we're going to work on step 48. We're going to work our G41, G42, two G42s, an F37 and an F36. So T, F, to F36. There's an F36. R. F36 faces that way. F37. Back there. G42. If you weren't on this plate, you were on one of the plates that fell off earlier. So some of the plates, when they give you say like a wall, they put other pieces within the wall, and when you're pressing on it, everything falls out. In part one, I had to take this one and just put it over in the box, even though I knew there were still parts on it. So we need two G42s. There's two G42s right here. We're going to use a little push tool to get these guys out. Remember, as you push things out of the plates, sometimes they'll stick to the back. Okay, so we should have everything now. Let's try to get orientation here. Face that way. This guy goes. See that squishy sound? If you were able to hear the squishy sound, that's another sound that you want to hear to make sure that these go in properly. Okay, white faces outward, cardboard faces inward. A tiny little spot. Okay. White faces outward, cardboard faces inward. Okay. And now a G41. There's a G41. Oh yeah, this is going to be super cool. I can't wait. Yeah, I want to build every single one. This plate is now complete. So I'm just going to put it back in the box. So G41 is the top part, so cardboard down, white up top, super tiny little critter. Squishy sound, good. Here we go. Okay, what the heck is that? Looks like a microwave. If you read Japanese, then you type what this says inside comments. Okay. I don't know what that is. So we'll put that aside. We're building another piece. So put that over there. Now we need, so basically we connected those pieces there together and created that, which is that. Okay, now we're working on this, step 49, to make that air conditioning unit. So we are looking for D20. Let's go back to D. is D20. Careful pushing the pieces out so you don't break the tabs. So there's D20. We need D22, which is right there. It shows D22 facing the opposite direction cardboard. Okay, so we'll put this way, this way. Okay, and D23, there's two of them. And D21, just that one. Okay, now we'll try to put these critters together. I have the telephone right in front of my face, so sometimes I have to kind of move it a little bit just so I can see the parts here. Okay, so we've got D20 is the face here. I peeled off some of the stuff right here, the silk screen. So we'll try to press that down. Okay, so D22 goes like this. Okay, D21, which has shape on it, I got to flip that around according to the orientation on the screen there, on the instructions. Oh, we do not want to fit that one there. Okay, so if you look closely, see that little curved shape off the rectangle. Which looks like wiring. Okay, you want to put a D23 at the bottom here. Connect it to this one here. That's a good snap sound, I like that. Then the other one up top. Some of the silk screening came off on this one as well. That's a squishy sound. All right. All pushed on together. Perfect. All right, so just did this right here. Connected these parts together and created that, which is this. Okay. All right, so now we're moving on to stage 50 or part 50. All right, so we need a wall. It looks like we're going to add some of the pieces on the microwave. Okay, so we need B1. Okay, I see B1 here. So we've got B1. Let's see. Okay, so right here shows B1 with a arrow pointing up there. Careful. Taking it out of the plate. Okay. So, son of a mother, father. So we're holding that. Blue stripe is the middle. Okay. Let's flip it over. Okay, so it wants us to put the microwave to connect it to the wall there. Okay, so we'll do that. There's the peg right there into that slot. And of course, if it doesn't fit, you'll need to file it down. Look at that. Denied. So let's file down a little bit. Okay. Squishy. Okay. If it seems like it's on there wonky, add a little glue to it. Okay, so what we did was this, and got this. That little line that you see right there is an orientation line. It's usually on most of the parts, kind of like here. That little line right there. Oh, let's see if I can focus that. That little line right there. They're just orientation marks to make sure that you're facing parts in the right directions. Okay, so now, I guess we're done with that. Now we're building something here. Oh, it looks like it's an outside awning. Okay, so we're going to be looking for G3 and G29, G46, and G2. Well, I know that one of the parts fell off the other day, which is this guy. I think it's part of it. If not, we'll keep them aside right there. So let's head over to G. So we got B, we got C, we got D, E, F, and G. Okay, so G2 is up here. So we need G2 and G3, so it is not part of this. Put you away. Okay, got these guys. G2 and G3. G3 goes on top, G2 down below. We need a G29. G29, which is right here. So G29 goes on the left side, and G46 goes on the right side. So let's try to figure out this orientation here. Okay, so that faces that way. These have these little pieces, a smaller one and a larger one. So according to this, the smaller one goes on the bottom. So we'll aim it this way. And then G29 also has some funky shapes to it. So G29, which has the cardboard facing out inward. And it also has a sharp bottom and an angled front. So that's the orientation we want that to be. Okay, so we want to go okay, like so. And then this guy. Connect it here. So it's at an angle. Not really connecting very well. Let's try that again. Okay, there's the squish. Kind of angle it that way. Try to get this guy on here. I do not hear anything. Oh boy, falling apart already. Remember, I have big, giant chimpanzee hands, so the tendency to make things a little bit more difficult. Okay. I guess that's about right there. So that right there is this right here. Okay, so they want us to connect that wall onto the store. So that means we're going to have to tuck these wires in. So they give us this clear tape. It hasn't suggested it yet, but I've built, like I said, 9 of these. So it's like a Scotch tape, but it's in little squares, and it helps to set the wires down if they're not cooperating. They're not cooperating. Okay, kind of hard to see, but it's on my thumb. So I'm going to push it against this wall here, just so I can get the wires out of the way. There, I just stuck it to the box. Kind of hard to see. I just stuck it to the box to get it out of the way. Let's tuck those wires in. Okay. So this is going to be kind of tricky. We're going to put this wall against here again. The pegs are here, 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 and here. It's going to go into that slot, and those 2 slots. So here we go. I'm going to turn it on its side here. Let's see if we can do this. These are always the trickiest stages because a lot of these kits are wonky. Ooh. I think we're all together. Appear to be all together. Yay, lights. Super bright LED lights too. Okay, so that wall's been connected. So now they want us to put the awning on this side and the air conditioning unit. Air conditioning unit goes on those 2 slots. So let's make sure it's facing the correct direction. Okay, so I'm going to flip it on its side here. We're going to put this critter. Again, if it doesn't go in. Oh, that was lovely. I like that. Oh, yes. Lovely sounds. Perfect. And now our awning. Our awning connects this way to that. If you can see it right there. Right there. Right there. Lovely. Okay. So our awning is now connected right there. So what we just did was this here. And our finished product is right here, which is right here. Lovely. And we're now done with that page. Let me put the parts that I'm going to be using here. We don't need that. Oops. Okay. If you would like a tooth extracted, got a cool little mallet right here, metal part and a rubber part. This came with one of the kits that I built. I never used it. It never told me to use it, but it gave it to me. So that's cool. I'm going to be putting a picture frame together using that. Okay. I need more agua. Okay, let's see where we're at now. All right, so we did all that, so we're flipping the page, and now we're building a window. So 52 is going to require glue. We have glue. All right. It's going to require the wax paper and G1 at D27. So G1, G1 fell out earlier. So let's search in the box for G1. Is. So that one's a different one. This one's D27. G1 is the one I had in my hand, which is that one there. And then we need the window. This is going to require glue. Here's our little wax paper window with whatever that writing is. I have no clue. Cannot read that. Somebody translate this. So, all right, so looks like it goes this way. And what they're going to want is to go in between. So let's try to figure this out. So that goes here, and then this goes in between. So we're going to glue this to this and then put it on that plate. So we're going to get our glue. We're going to put some dabbies in the corners. Don't want too much or it's just going to smudge it out. If you're feeling brave. And close that up so that can dry out. You could take, say, your little tool here and spread this stuff out if you'd like. That seems to be easier. Okay. So now this goes here. So this clear glue from Elmer's, sometimes it doesn't like wax paper. So just kind of nudge it along. Nudge it along. Nurse it, make it happy. Make sure there's no little bubbles. Okay. This is the orientation this way here. So let's see here. So you want this to face this way. Okay. So now we're going to add some more glue here. Okay. Make sure it's facing the correct way. Oh, it wants to fall apart there. Okay, let's make sure it's lined properly. Hey, Sam. You want to come up here and hang out? Come up. Come on, Sam. Okay. So I'll let that dry there for a moment. Let's close up our glue. Okay. catch the wind here. So where this wants to go is, you see the opening here. It's going to connect onto the tab right there. And I suppose these edges will sit on these ledges here. So in the picture you see what we just did. We glued the wax paper. That symbol indicates glue. We glued D27 to the wax paper to G1, and we got that. And now they want us to connect that onto 51, which is this entire unit here. So now let's see if we can do that without moving everything. And the window fell down. Okay. Put that back up there. And you can see these orientation lines on here. Make sure that it has enough space there and there, and that it's somewhat close to that brown line on the brickwork. So now when we turn the light on, which is up here, we get nothing. There we go. Now we get a little bit of light. Now obviously if it was dark in the room, you'd be seeing the light shining through the detective window. But it is daytime where we're at, so touchpad. So that's lovely. It's not drooping. Now, I was questioned, why do you have a Sharpie in here? Well, sometimes I'll take the Sharpie and I'll paint like the tops of these things so that they're black. If I don't have actual black paint, I'll just use the Sharpie on top of these things if it's meant to be black. But this looks like it's all supposed to be wood, so that's not a requirement. But that's why I have the Sharpie in there in my kit. Also a lighter. I have the lighter in my kit because one of the models that I put together required me to melt some parts, and that's what that was for. So agua frio. Okay, so we connected all that. Now it looks like we're going to connect a front door. So we're going to need G7. But first it wants us to make another awning here, and whatever that sign is right there. So now we're going to get G33 and G35. Well, hello there, sir. Hi. Remember, Sammy must give the stamp of approval. Hi, monkey. Hi. Are you going to give us your stamp of approval, Sam? We're going to get a butt. Thank you for the Sammy butt. Appreciate it. Okay. So we're going to build this awning piece that sits on the outside of this wall. But first of all, G27 appears to be right here. Is it G20? No, it's G7. I'm sorry. It's G7. Now G7 is connected to an inner plate that has these drinks on it. So we're going to remove that inner plate and set that aside. So here is the front. Okay, we're going to need G35. So that must be the other guys that have fallen down in here. That one. That one. Is that it? That's G35 right here, I believe. This is G33 that had fallen down, and G34 is right here. Okay, and then we're going to need G31 to be the left anchor. is going to need to face inward, okay? And then G32, which is the right anchor. It's going to go that way. Let's move this back, and to the left. Back, and to the left. All right, so G34, again, the little piece here needs to face downward. So we're going to put that there. This guy here, the sign, according to the image here, shows you the pegs that we're going to sit here like so, right above it. And then this guy has a tab here, and then little critters is going to face this way, like so. And then these critters, this one goes outwards, this one goes this way. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if we can connect these critters together here. Once again. There we go. I like that sound. This one goes here. Oh! Well, we broke that. Lovely. Let's try that again. I got some flash in here. Let's get the flash out of here. Again, that's because I have giant banana hands, but you probably don't. You probably are able to do that. Gotta be gentle. There's one. Let's try this again. Let's try to be a little bit more gentle. That's two. This one here does not want to go. Weird, but okay. All right, now let's try getting this piece on here. I'm not hearing anything. Wow. There we go. Not hearing anything on that. Oh, I didn't realize I'm not seeing it. There we go. All right. That is a crazy looking awning there. A little wonky. All seems to be together. Okay. A20. Let's get us an A20. My name is Real Talk Chimp. I'm live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. This is part 2 of the Beika-Cho convenience store. Okay. Remember, if you like this type of content, hit that like button. Share it, Real Talk Chimp, with your friends and family. It'd be greatly appreciated. Comment. Keep me entertained by commenting. I appreciate that as well. I like to be spoken to, because most of the time all I'm getting spoken to is by a monkey cat over there named Sam. Hey, Sam. Yeah. Okay, so we are looking for A20. We have found A20. It's a 24-hour convenience store. That's lovely. Okay, and it's written in English and Japanese. Okay, so now we have our front wall. So we are going to place said awning. I think what I'm going to do is place the front wall onto here first before I try setting the awning and stuff in here, because then I have a tendency of breaking everything when I'm pushing all this stuff on here. So there's your slot. There's a tab. There's a tab. There's a slot. That's a lovely sound. There we go. Connect into your little spots. We're good there. Okay, I'm going to connect this awning. The awning is going to go up here. So that tab that's dropped here is going to go right there. That tab right there should be fitting right in there. Again, if it doesn't feel like it's going to connect, then you'll want to use your file. And it's not going to connect. So we're going to use a file. You know what? I don't remember the last time I built a Lego house. I know they've gotten real elaborate, the Lego houses and stuff like that. I'll have to look into it. I wouldn't mind trying to find like a Japanese pagoda Lego thing, and I'll try putting it together. I don't know if this is any easier than putting the Lego together, but I don't know. I cannot make that comparison. Wow, this guy does not want to go in there. Okay. Oh, I see why it doesn't want to go in there. It's completely off center. I just knocked out the window. Okay. So let's reset the window on here. All right, so I got that awning there. Then this sign has the two slots right here, and they connect onto these two right here. Again, if it doesn't fit, you'll have to file. Oh boy, that's real. Got that on there forcibly. Okay, so what we did was, we did that, we connected all that, we built the box, the awning box, the sign. We connected it to the front of this wall here. And that's what you're supposed to see. I'm not sure why they're showing that right there. I haven't even added that sign to it yet. On the left side there, I may have missed a spot, but we'll look. So there's that awning there. See if I can orientate the angle here. Oh, something like that. So did we miss that sign in the instructions? Let's see. No, because the sign's on this page here. I don't know what, that must be a mistake. They probably didn't want to put that picture on there, but they did by mistake. Okay, so now we're going on over to step 54, which looks like some ceiling or something. Maybe, oh, I see, it's to cover up this open area there. So we're looking for D23. D23. Okay. B, C, D. D23 is missing. Okay, so maybe it's down in the box. I see it. It was an inner plate. There is D23 with the wood side up. Does the cardboard go up or the wood side go up? Well, obviously the cardboard side goes up because the wood would be seen in there if we were really inside there. I don't know. So somehow it goes around this thing like a stethoscope. Like so. Like you do. connects onto the back there, connects onto the tab here, connects onto the tab there. I thought it was actually going to fill in that center, but is that right? Why does that seem weird? That's what it shows. But why would the cardboard be that direction? You don't show anything in here. You don't show that top angle there. But I guess that's what you want to see there. You want to see that wood area facing downward so it connects onto this wall. So I guess that makes sense. Put that on so you can look at that. Okay, so we put that piece. Shows how you connect that back tab back here. And it shows how you connect that front tab right here. Okay, so now it wants us to connect that sign. So we have to first make a sign box. So we're looking for A12 and G6. It's just a frame. A12. There is our A12. Okay. Facing in the correct direction. So around. So that's the way it's going to go on there. So we're going to need to glue. There is the icon for glue. So we're basically framing this thing. Cardboard on this side will get glued down to the perimeter of the sign here. Fingers. So right here, we have an open spot. Right there. Right there. That's where we're going to connect said sign. Now the frame is going to fall off like usual. Probably have to glue it on there. Perfect. We set that frame around there. So we built that little frame around A12, and we glued A12 to the side of the building, and we finished up. There's a black arrow showing this. There you go. Be cool if you could light up that sign. So you probably could buy another battery box and put it somewhere and attach it to the back of that sign somehow, maybe drill some holes into the sign so the light shines through. All right, so it looks like we're making a weather vane. Is that what that is? Oh, it's an antenna. It's an antenna. Okay. So we're building some type of antenna to put on the roof. So it's going to require a bunch of antenna parts. So we're looking at all A's and some C's. So let me grab some agua. Okay, so A, we want A. See all the parts here. A14. A14. Okay, here we go. So all these little parts right here are going to make this antenna for the detective agency. So we need A8 first. A8. Here is A8. The plate that all these critters are going to go into. So let's make sure we get the orientation correct. That looks correct. Okay. So A14 will go into the center. Like so. Yep, okay. So then we're going to look for the first one, A17. There's two A17s? Yes, there are. So the bottom, two A17s go on the far edges. So let's, two A17s. These have printing on both sides. Okay, so A17 goes on the outer edge. Okay, and they slide through the little square. I guess that's the farthest it's going to go. Like you do. Okay, so now the 16s are going to be the second ones, and there's your 16s. Oh boy, come on, come on. Okay, so now there's 16s. On the second, push that through like you do. Seems weird, but okay. Maybe it goes the other way. Let's try going down the other way. Doesn't want to go this way. There it goes. All right, so it definitely was the other way. All right, and then the last ones are the 15s. Here's the 15s. Okay, the 15s are going to go in the innermost spot. Okay, let's see what the orientation is with this one. Cool. That is sassy. I'll give it a three-dimensional look. Remember, all this is an optical illusion when it's 3D. You can see the curvature of each of these tubes on here, or antennae. Okay, so now we're building a base. this little base here for this to sit on. So we're looking for C parts. Let's go over here and grab some C parts. And on C parts we have, okay, so we're looking for C17 to go on the left. There is C17. Oh boy. C17 goes on the outer parts. We'll put you there. C15 has 2 parts. C15. And we need another C17. Then we need a C16. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's get the orientation of these critters. It's got some blue writing on it. Okay. That faces that way. That faces that way. This guy has a little white symbol right there. And on here, you can see the direction of where that's got to face. Like this. Okay. So then we'll put this critter on the side here. Oh my Lord, does not want to go. Okay, let's try the other one. It definitely was the other one. This guy goes on this side. Okay, 17 has markings on it as well, so that faces downward. These little tiny parts are the hardest for me to build because of my giant chimpanzee hands. That faces downward. Very wonky. But that's what they wanted, okay. So that critter right there is this critter right here. So now we just use that center area to put the antenna down into. Perfect. Push it all the way through. The sides are coming apart here. Let's try to get these sides back on here. Okay. There we go. So now we've done all this. We've created the base. And that's the finished product. That's the finished product. Now we're going to flip the page. Now it's showing us putting that antenna on top of the roof into those 2 slots, which is these 2 slots here. So we'll grab said critter. Cross our fingers and toes that we're going to fit. Nope. Well, you know what we got to do. Hit our file. You know what I'm going to do just for poops and giggles? I'm going to drop a little glue on top because this is going to be sticking up. So when you're moving this around, you may bump it into something and knock the antenna off. So just for poops and giggles. The orientation facing the right direction. Put one side down, but this guy does not want to go. We'll grab our tweezers here. There we go. We are glued down, seated in place. There we go. So we did that. And that's what we got right there. Looks like a menorah on top. And just for poops and giggles, turn the light on again for you so you can see inside there. Okay, so it looks like we are building some more display cases, so we are not done here. Okay, so we're going to be working on this right here. Another display case, which I have no idea where that's going to go. So we need a bunch of G's. G. Okay, so we need, start off, we need 1, 2, 3 G28s. So here's G28s. Okay, so these are all the bottoms. So line them up because there's 3 shelves. Okay, we're looking for G14. Okay, this makes me think that G14 is on a plate that's fallen off. And I would be correct. So we have a G14 on an inner plate. So we'll take G14, it looks like a bunch of soda pops. And we'll press it onto this one, first shelf here. Squishy. Bunch of soda pops. Okay, the next one is G16. Just here. It's making me thirsty already. G16 goes on this one here. That's the sound you want to hear. It's like a grape soda, orange soda, maybe strawberry soda, maybe some type of Coca-Colas or something, a grapefruit, or I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Then we're looking for G15, which is right here. And then we're finished with this plate. That goes bye-bye. Okay. Okay, so we completed that, which is this stage right here. So now we're going to connect them to F60. I have something in here that had fallen apart. Here, this may be F60. Nope, it is not. So let's look for F60. If you were F, where would you be? Right here. Okay. Let's put it there. Okay, so F, I have an F50. This has to be F60. Okay. It is. This is F60 here. This was correct. I just had it facing the wrong direction. Okay. And we need some, let's see, F60. All right, so G15 goes up on the top here. Hopefully. I'm not hearing a squishy, but then the next one down. That's the squishy I wanted to hear, and then the next one down. There we go, that's a different sound. So now we have these three connected here, which is what you're seeing here. That's the final. Okay. Tabs are all in the correct spaces, places. All right, so next we're building the inner or the outer part that connects on here. So we need a D25, a D28, and a G22. A D25. Okay, so we have a D25 and a D28 right here. So the D25 goes on the left side, the D28 goes cardboard out right there, and now a G22, a G22, EF G22, which is right here. Thing that says push. Okay, and an F50. I had seen the F50 right here. There is the F50. This has a special orientation as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the orientation of this critter. Okay, so you have those pegs there with a larger edge, smaller edge there. The F50 actually silk screened on here, showing as being on top. Okay, so we'll put that there. So now we put the 25 into the G22. Right. Okay, so this orientation is showing a different direction. Well, can't possibly face that direction. This is G25 right here. But it's showing G25 this way, but it's showing the white being on the direction towards the inside, facing the inside. That's not going to work. So the only way we do that is if we took the 28 and we did the 28. I can't see any other way. They must have, it's got to be a misprint. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So that's one. So we're reversing this. Cardboard outward. That don't make no sense. All right, let's try this again here. This is showing cardboard out, but that's facing the wrong direction. I'm really confused. We have ourselves a debacle. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Wow, this is really weird. I feel like I've got some reversed parts here. How would I make this work? If I put the cardboard facing this way, and this, facing this way, the cardboard facing this way, yeah, that don't look right. I think we got some wrong parts in here. Let's try it this way. I'm really confused. I don't know if this was a misprinted setup here, because these are facing completely the wrong way. Like they put that square in the wrong, facing the wrong direction. Okay, so what if we got rid of that piece completely? How? There's no way to make this work. See that right there? So that has to go that direction. It's the only way. Okay. But then when we get to this, there literally is no way to connect this. All right, I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. You're not going to like it. You are not going to like this. One more time. Why did they do this? All right, I'm going to have to do this. We're busting the tabs off and just gluing it. Sometimes you have to improvise. Why did they mess that up? I don't know. Okay, so this guy faces that direction. Let's try this. Like you do. Okay. So this guy is going to sit in here. Since they put those the wrong way, we are going to set this guy in first. Okay, like so, and then we're just going to glue this in. Little bead across the back so we can angle it. Got it sitting at kind of an angle. Good. Sometimes it just has to be done. I don't know. They don't, you know, they're 100%. Now, I said this in part 1, that this is made in China. The original kit's made in Japan, and it's like $300 to buy it. This was a $40 kit. You get what you pay for, I guess. It's still beautiful. Sometimes you just got to make some concessions because parts are wonky. The fitament's kind of messed up. But there, we modified it and kind of made it our own, you know. So basically that, you know, we tried to make these into this critter, which is this critter. Okay, so we're flipping the page. We're making it some type of concession machine, so we're going to put that aside. So we're looking for C19. C19. Here is C19. Oh, about to lose that piece. Okay, C19. That goes on the outside. C20 goes on the outside. Like that, like that. And then that front piece is E20. This guy right here. So yeah, it can get frustrating. Again, that's why it's ages 14 and up to build this thing. And I am older than 14 and still, I have a chimpanzee brain. Having a chimpanzee brain, that's 99.9% human and part Sammy. Let's hide the glue here. We don't want to glue with Sammy. He's got enough glue. Hi, Sammy. Hey, Sammy, can you tell everyone to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe to @RealTalkChimp? We get a butt again. Okay, so we have these, and now we need a C18. Here is a C18. Okay. Let's put these guys aside. So now we need to connect these critters. So we have this one here connecting onto here. We hope. Reluctantly. Facing upward, yes, okay, good. And we have this one here. Tab here, goes into tab, open slot here. Like that. And then C18, face it the correct direction. Goes on top here. We put that in that slot and that slot over there. Okay. Here, squish. This one does not want to go. Okay, I gotta do some filing. Let's try it. There we go. Better fit. Better fitment. Okay. So we have created C19 onto C20, or onto E20, C20 onto E20, C18 to the top of C20 and C19, and we got that guy, which became this guy. Okay, so now looks like we put the PVC on the inside here. So let's go over to our magic box of goodies and look. is not the correct one, so it should be inside of our accessory bag. There she is. Okay, so now the PVC, this thing right here, has a film on it. You got to pull the film off. So it says here, note, tear the protective film on both sides of the PVC before pasting to the inside here. And there's the glue symbol. So now we're going to try to peel this film off. This may take a couple hours. Okay, we got one. There's a film stuck to the hand. Okay, so now we got one on this side. Like I said, most of the stuff on this kit is chimpanzee proof. You are seeing it right now live. There we go. So we'll peel off there. So now we have, it's going to be covered in fingerprints, unfortunately. But, oh, get off the hand, out of the paw. So this is kind of hard to see. It's going to be glued onto the inside of here. Okay. So we're going to go a bead of glue here, 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 and here. Okay. Then we're going to take our critter. We're going to set it in here. Okay. The clear glue will dry, of course, and you shouldn't see any of that, but if it does bother you, of course, you can take your paper towel and smear it, make it worse. But who hasn't found a concession machine that didn't have fingerprints and stuff all over it? Okay. So there it is, sitting in there. The window. Doesn't go down here, because that's where the sodas come out of, down there. So you have your window, you press your button, and then it goes through its little thing and drops out right there. Okay, so now we did that, and we did that, and then we did that, and then now we're connecting it to that concession, or this critter here. So the push button is, let's see how this is going to work. Oh, so you're probably supposed to see that push on there. So that's supposed to be the window. All right, so let's see how this connects. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to take the little push critter that we had in here, face it more like that. Okay, so then these pegs will connect to these pegs. Why does everything want to fall apart already? There we go. Squish. Squish. Squish, squish, fish, fish. Okay, so our little push sign fell down like usual. Let's get it Pop up here. Okay. It's a little push thing. There's our little drink machine. So we connected it there. There's that. There's that. Cute. All right, so we'll put that over there. It looks like we're working on a new piece here. But before we do that, I am going to go use the restroom. So I'm going to put phone down. You are going to fall down possibly. Sorry, the orientation is a little bit weird. I will be right back. I must relieve myself of several bottles of water. I will be back in a moment. Maybe the Sammy will come and talk to you. Monkey cat. Okay. I am back. Set phone back on body. Okay. Come here, Sam. Come on. No? Okay. All right, so we're working on another part here. Something, I don't know what it is. Not sure what the heck that is, but we are looking for C32. This is C32. An odd looking thing. Okay. So we'll face that direction. C27, which is this one here. Oh! C27, C21, just that little maroon bar. We're looking for C23. That is C23. We are looking for C22. That is C22. Do we have everything? And we're looking for C30, the other piece that fell down. Okay, put that aside and go looking for the piece that fell down here. It has fallen onto the base of the wheelchair, so we shall grab it with our handy dandy little claw. Okay. Oh, too far. Okay, let's reorientate this. All right, so C32, it's got a funky facing that direction. So C27 with the writing facing this direction goes into this. Where does it go? Meow. Oh, broke it. And that doesn't go in there anymore. That's what happens when you manhandle parts. You chimpanzee them up. All right, well, now that's no longer going in there. So let's continue on. Oh, let's see if I can repair it. Probably not, but we'll try. Really broke that thing. Oh, put it over there. Moving on. C21. How does it fit in there? Okay, so we have to file all these pieces. They're not fitting at all. It's what you gotta do sometimes. Probably that's what I had to do to the other one, because the other one wasn't fitting at all, and I pushed it in there and snapped it. Let's just file all the pieces. This guy actually came in here and bribed me to subscribe. I've never seen that before. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, this one goes meow. We gotta make sure it faces the right direction. Here goes Crazy Cat. Like that. Then C22. Meow. That seems like another type of rotisserie machine of some sort. All right, so this one I broke, so I'm going to try to glue it in here, I think. Really don't know how it fits. So what I want to end up doing is gluing that onto the back of that. So I still have to connect it to all these other pieces here. It's probably going to fall off. Just let that one drop. This is really, really trippy. Really, really weird. Such an awkward thing. The orientation is really messed up on this one here. It's supposed to sit in here, but they put the slot in the wrong spot. So it doesn't even fit. I don't understand. So it's like that other one, that the slot was facing the wrong direction. It makes no sense at all. Doesn't even fit into that slot at all. Zero chance. They want it to be here. But I don't do that because this peg is a different shape than that peg. It would have to sit underneath this, but it doesn't go forward at all. So let's try it at this angle. Yeah, see, it doesn't even fit into this area here. It doesn't even fit. It's completely manufactured incorrectly. So we're going to have to do the same thing we did to the last one. We're going to have to tear the peg off and just set it in there. Okay. It's going to look weird, but what can you do? If it doesn't work, then I am going to kick it to the curb. Well, that's what we tried to make. Unfortunately, that's the outcome of it. Makes no sense at all. But there you go. Let the glue dry. Oh, now it wants a back to it. And a kitty cat on top. So we're going to find C26. Here's C26. want C28. There's C28. I want C25. There. C25. I want C24. I want C30. Wow. Okay. Let's see if we can figure this out. So we're going to put C26 on top. This is C26. We're going to get the orientation right. Not working. Let's try it this way. Not working. We got a file. These are the frustrating parts of these kits. Things that are just so wonky and the fitment's all wrong. That's where it gets frustrating. It is a real shame. But it's what happens. Terrible fitment. Look at that. Just really stupid. All right. C25. It's supposed to go right here. It will not go, per usual. Okay. This guy goes on the back, faces downward. These pegs going into those slots. Perfect. Okay. This guy. I'll try to glue this guy back in here. This guy going here. Okay. Does not make any sense. Don't care anymore about that part. That's just starting to piss me off. Kitty. All right. This disaster started here, worked its way here. Just put cat on. So you see the back of this like video game machine is that back window right there, but it unfortunately has fallen back inside there. I cannot get it out without taking this whole thing apart. Gone all the way up inside the machine. Let's see if I can pop the back off. Okay. Let's try to get it back here. Where'd it go? Okay, he's connected right here. All right. Let's try it again. Okay, let's try to set him in here again. I'm going to try something. I'm going to custom fabricate my own piece. Just taking part of the styrene here. Just use the one that's got coloring on it. I'm going to try to use that as a back piece for this thing. Nope. All right, forget it. It's in there. It's just stuck inside. All right, let's move on. That's too frustrating. All right. We are building something here, some kind of box. So this is going to require C7, C35, C5, and C6. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got C7, which is this piece here. Let's be very gentle with that. There goes cardboard. C35, which is this piece here. C5, which is this piece here. And C6, which is some kind of C8 number in there, which is another piece, but it's not for this one. Oh, C8's for on top. Okay, so we're going to pop the center out because this one is C8. And then we're going to get rid of the flashing behind it. This is a completed piece. All right, let's see if we can put this box together. Make sure we got the correct orientation here, not facing that the way. That looks correct. Okay. Oh no. Oh, why? Did they seriously did this to me? Seriously? Okay, you see these pegs right here? They're supposed to connect into these guys right here, these little slots. They cut it out in the wrong spot. So the filament's all screwed up. So if I was to connect that one, I couldn't connect that one. If I push this one up, then I can't connect the bottom one. So it looks like as we go towards the finishing this kit with the accessories, the quality control on this kit is shit. They did not. I cannot believe that. They just totally threw this off. So if I stuck that on there, there's no way to connect this side. See? Because they put that in the wrong spot. Let's try the other side. They did the same thing. They did not cut these boards out properly. All right, let's see what happens when we flip it around. The only way it'll work is if I flip it around. That is such trash. All right, well, I got to put a different piece in a different slot because that's the only way it's going to fit. Yeah, whatever. Don't get yourself down. It's sometimes pretty crappy. Okay, and now we have to connect this side box here. Hope this works. Okay. So this one says C35 and C5. Reverse those two pieces in order to make this fit. Put the C5 on this side, the C35 on that side. Otherwise, you're not going to get this thing to work. Okay. So now the C8 goes on top here. It's got some kind of pattern on it. Got some kind of pattern or decoration or something up there. All right, that's connected. Now we're looking for A7. There is A7. Don't know what that is. Is that? It's so hard to tell. Writing is so small. Can't tell if it's a bus, like a schedule for a bus, like Route 15, Route 45, Route 23, Route 70. It looks like. Yeah, doesn't it say bus what? Bus Gus? No. Bus something. All right, so it wants us to slip it in here. Oh, it's not going to slip in there because it's way too thick. Are you serious? How on earth a kit? Okay, there we go. Just had to do some prying, a little bit of prying. Slide that up in there. Okay, so what I just did was I did this one here, 63. I reversed the 35 and the 5. I reversed those two pieces in order to make them fit. I put the C8 on top. I slid the bus schedule up into the two pieces, came out with that. Which is that? Okay. Now I'm going to build another little box. Okay, so we're going to go look for, let me close up the glue bottle so it doesn't dry out. Okay, so now we're looking for A. We want A4 up here. So we have 4 A4s, which makes me think we're going to be making 2 of these, and we are going to be making 2 of these. Okay, so we're going to grab this A4 and this A4. This A4, put it over here, and this A4, put that over there. We're going to go an A5, which is here, and 2 A3s, which are here. Okay, and let us build said box. Okay, so if you notice on A3, it has the little 3 red lines coming off there, noting that there is a piece that needs to be facing downward. See the little tab next to my right thumb? That piece needs to be facing downward. Okay, so we have to connect to this here. Okay, perfect. Then we need to connect this one. The same thing. There's a tab here, but it's going to be facing in the opposite direction, according to this critter here. I don't know why, but that's what it says. Okay, so these are the handles of said box. So you have the peg on the front there, the peg on the back there. Then we're going to put these guys on the side, the blue writing facing downward. Blue writing facing downward. Okay. So now, oops, we have just completed these parts right here and made that with the peg facing there, which is this guy here. Okay. So now we're going to build another one with some soda pops inside. So we have our A4s here. Then we need an A2, 2 A2s. Let's see. 2 A2s right on over here. The 2 A2s here. Okay, and an A6 bottom. There's an A6. And C4 times 3. Here is C4, but one of them fell out the other day. So here's the third one. Okay, so now we're going to take this here, place these inside. Very tricky because it's so small. Okay. Okay, now we got to build a little box around it. So we have an A2. Goes here. We have an A2 on this side. Goes here. And we have glue side down, facing downward. Handles over here. Like so. Blue side facing downward. Glue crusties on the hand. Facing down. Or not. There we go, a nice squishy sound. Okay, so we did that right there. We put those 3 bottle doohickers on that. Then we created that one. And therefore, we have gotten this guy. Okay, so now it looks like we are building a push cart. There's some A parts and an E part. So let us look for A and E. So we need E6, which is right here. Okay, we're done with E, so we'll put E aside. We need A18, 2 A18s, there we go. 2 A19s. Do we? No, this don't look right. Oh, I see, their individual pieces are just connected in there. So we have that and that. Those are the 2 18s. So let's put the 18s in first. Let's get the orientation correct here. Okay. I'm going to flip this over. No, I'm not going to flip that over. Okay. So the A18s go up. That side. And so it looks like I put it in the wrong one. Let's try it again. It's the A18. I had it also facing the wrong way. So this one goes here. And I broke it already. Awesome. Okay, A18. The other 18 goes on this side. Wow, that is really painful. Ow. Does not want to go in there. Okay, those are the 2. They're in a diagonal shape, so now we look for the 2 A19s. Don't drop. And they also gave us some extra ones in red, in case you lose them. Okay, so there's these A19s here. Okay, so now they go in the opposite corners. Oh my Lord, that hurts so badly. Okay, they don't want to go. Okay, there's a 19. Okay, So you see there's pegs hanging down. So these guys look like wheels, but these are the pegs that will like probably press into a floor or something. The pegs there. Okay, so now we're looking for the handles. So we're looking for A11. We got A11 and we have an extra part in case we drop the A11. Okay. We have the A11, two A23s, which are these guys. Okay, put that aside. So let's see how we're connecting this. Okay, so we're going to put the A23s. How about that wheel in the wrong place? It's supposed to go right there. Oh, I really don't want to go in there, do you? I have to file this thing down. It is not fitting in there. Okay, let's try that again. Why is it the wrong size? Have to be doing something wrong here. So awkward. Ow! Ow! Those marks. All right, A23. I'm going to reverse that and face that direction. Okay. The little guy goes over here. Okay. Now we connect these bars across with this critter. We hope. That sounded good. That sounded perfect. And we got ourselves, we put a cart before the horse. So we did this very painfully, put the 18s and 19s on there. But we put an 18 on this side, a 19 here, a 19 on this side, and an 18 on this side, so that those two have the pegs that will connect to the floor. Then we added the stroller arms, I guess, and the handle, and we created this. Yay! That's where you hear the clapping sound. All right. Now we get to move on. Before we do that, I'm going to bring some water. All right, that was step 66. We're moving to step 67, which it looks like it's going to require glue. So you want me to take the little box I already created, stack this guy on top of said box, and then glue both of them down onto said tray. Is that what I'm led to believe? Okay, let's try it. Okay. So first we connect this staggered piece here. We try. Very unsuccessfully. Nope. Okay, this is going to require filing. Oh, stuff. It's better when you, not perfect. So when you file it down, it fits a heck of a lot better. A little flashing. A little bit of the silk screen flashing came off. So put that over there. Okay, so now we're going to glue this guy on top here. Get our glue. This may actually become a 3-parter, so I do want to go to karaoke tonight. Try to get there. Okay. Doesn't stack very well. It's not stacking at all, but hopefully the glue will stay. So it looks like that. So we did just basically stacking number 65, which is that box with the bottles, onto number 64, and then we set both of those into the tray, and then that should be that. Very cute. Okay, so now it looks like we're making a sign for number 68 here. One of those signs where, you know, you've got water on the ground. A cuidado, a danger sign. So we're looking for a B5, 2 B5s, and a B4. Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss. Which is B4 right here. Holy monkey. You need to have an exorcist to get that thing out. 2 B5s. Wet floor. And looking at the B5 plate, it would appear that it is completely finished. There are no more parts on B5. Okay. We connect this critter. That faces that way, that faces that way. This guy goes there. This guy goes here. We got it. Put the peg there. In the middle, will connect onto the base. Cuidado, caution, wet floor. That's a little dude that's about to slip on the wet floor. Okay. I have to say this is the first time I've ever made one of these. Okay. Let's see how it makes 1, 2, 3. You know what? I think we can finish this. All right, so now we're making the foundation. So we're going to need E2, which is these two critters here, these two side panels. So we have 2 E2s. An E1, which is this big critter right here. Careful. And we have 2 E3s. Well, we have 1 E3 because one dropped out the first time. Okay. So let's look for that piece. Here it is. Okay. So the foundation. How do we do the foundation? Let's take a look here first. Get our orientation. That appears to be right. So E3 goes this way. Ooh. And then an E2 goes this way and connects onto this guy. Perfect. And then we'll keep going around. The E3, oops. E3 connects on to there and then onto the center part. Okay. Go around, connect the last piece, which is the E2. Should connect here and onto the center. And then onto the last corner. That's good. There we go. We have ourselves a foundation. Okay, now we got to add some C2s and C3s. That is B. B is done. Here is C. So we need all these little critters up here. So we need 4 of these. No, we need just 2 of these. Okay. So they gave us quite a few extras. You have C1, but I don't see it. Okay, so C2, which is there. Oh. Okay. And then we need C3, PO, C3s. All right, so these are pegs that basically hold the main house onto the body here. So we need to put the longer part down into where? Into this one right here. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, I guess not. How about we'll try the other one. I'm going to try the mallet. This is hurting my hand very badly. Not working. We got a file. Definitely got a file, folks. You gotta do it. Just some parts just have terrible fitment. Okay, this one here goes where? There's no square on this side. What have you done to me? Goes to the circle. You wanted this to the circle, but this doesn't make sense. It is through the circle. What the? Oh, come on. Thank God they gave us extras. You cannot take this chimpanzee anywhere. Didn't chop off a finger, so that's good. Now we're doing surgery. What else do we got? Thank you. Okay, into the hole. All right, this one's done, so let's get another one. Thank goodness we got extras. Okay. Put these little critters in here and we flip the board over. Okay. And then we take these little circular pieces and connect them on to the little man we stuck in here. Okay, so he holds them in place. Okay. Okay. Don't need you. We don't need you. We want to cover you up so you don't dry out until we need you again. We just performed surgery, folks. Okay. All right, so what we did was we connected E2, E3, E2, E3, the two C2s, and the two C3s, and we come out with this foundation right here, which is this foundation right here. Okay? Anybody still watching? We're going to flip the page and go over to part 70, which looks like we're going to be connecting a bunch of sassy things. We are connecting the sassy things we made onto the base. So let's turn it in the right direction here. So we have our soda machine, concession machine that we built. Those go on the two outer dinguses right there, connecting those things to said dingus. We may have to file if they don't fit. Please don't fall apart. Oh, got it. Don't fall apart. Oh, whew. Okay. We got one dingus on there. Our kitty cat goes where? Let's see. Kitty cat goes onto the little peg right there. No, the big peg. Okay, so you got that post right there. Going onto that post. You know what I'm going to do to make my life a little easier? I'm going to follow that thing down a little bit. Oh, don't come apart. Don't come apart. Okay. Much better when you file. If they feel wonky, of course, you can always add a little glue. Okay, now we're going to put the bus sign to those two, these two. Hopefully, they fit without having to file. Feels sturdy. Oop. Okay, now our cart before the horse goes onto these two right here, the staggered little doohickers here with our staggered wheels. in theory. We have glued pieces there, okay. Glue pieces are coming apart a little bit, so let's get that. Okay, we have our little cuidado, which goes here. Okay. Perfecto. And we got something we did not build. So we need a C31, which is right here. Looks like the pitcher's mound or something. And we need an A10 warthog. Big old light pole right here, telephone pole or something here. Jeez. Okay. So where does that connect? So that goes straight through to the bottom. So this big old boy connects into here. Let's make sure it's facing the correct direction. Yes. Straight through. Of course not. Of course not. Very angrily. So now that bottom, put this, nope, put this way. Okay, a little critter goes in that corner there. So we did that there. And that shows you the underside of that. And you should have that. That. Okay. Lovely. All right, now we are putting the dust cover at the front of the window. So the dust cover is in our magic box. And of course the dust cover, which is this plexiglass here, or it's called the dust-proof sheet. Tear off the protective film on both sides before inserting the dust cover. So we get to do that again. There's one side here. Put that back in the box. On this side here. There we go, perfect. Okay. Static wants to hang on to that. Okay, so we grab our critter here. It looks like we drop this down somewhere. Where? I don't see a slot to put it down there. Oh, I see. Okay, real close to the edge. Let's push it down with our tweezers. So if you wanted to take the dust cover out and go inside, make it look like you're going inside there. This is not fitting. Now we go down. You could probably use tweezers to be able to do that. I'm not sure why. There's quite a gap on both sides here. So the dust cover shows it connected into that front part that we just did so that it sits like that. Okay, well, it's a little bit of stuff on here. Get that off. So it looks like you can see through, but dust covers there. It's not quite the right size, but whatever. Okay, so now we're flipping the page. We are almost finished, folks. We are now on the final page. We are going to connect the main building onto the foundation here. C2, in case it snaps, could replace with spare parts if they become unfirm. Does not require gluing down, it says. The battery, it shows you how to do the battery box. We'll do that in a minute. Let's secure our friend down here. So we're looking at the circles here. The circles here to connect onto the circle things that we placed on here. This is the trickiest of everything here. Because you can't see it. You don't know where exactly. You just kind of have to fish it around on here until it connects. Looks like we're not connecting the foundation tonight or ever because the fitament's all wonky. Nope. All right, fuck it. I had to swear, I'm sorry. But, you know, we got messed up fitament on here. That's just how the world works. Literally is not finding its spot. Nothing I do will make it work. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I really don't. How do I take these things off? Let me take them off. Very frustrating, folks. Very sad and frustrating. Seems like it's lined up, but it's not. Okay, well, we're gonna just glue it to the bottom because there's absolutely no way to connect it. So, that's what you get when you pay $40 for a $300 kit. completely. Just glue the whole base down. Okay. All right, so that was the only way we were going to be able to set the base on the foundation, is popping those pegs out and gluing it just straight to the foundation. Your kit may be better and may not have to do that, but this one certainly had to. Okay, so let's see here. The battery box, how the battery box works when you want to replace the batteries. So you look at the back here, you look at this little door that we made, you open this up, and then you've got the little battery box here. Very carefully pull this out here. Then you push that open, take the top off, replace the batteries, slide it back inside here. Make sure that's all set. Connect the door in here. Voila. There you have that. So this, let's go through our plates. So our plates are just extra parts. So that's A. B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you see any extra parts, again, like I said, they're just the extras that they give you in case parts break. Our accessory pack was finished. We're going to keep. We didn't never had it never told us to use any of the tape, so I'm going to take that, put it in my toolbox. With all my other goodies. I think I'm pretty much done with this file. And this little piece I smashed pretty good. All the flashing that we took off, back in the box. Our little Scotch tapey McTaper tins. This guy. Oh, toolbox is really filling out here. There's our toolkit. There's the barcode. Bought that off of Amazon. That's linked in the description, but it doesn't come with all the stuff because I've been collecting this stuff, obviously. And then we'll take our little Boxy McBoxer tin. We will now fold up our directions because we have completed this kit. We're reboxing. We did an unboxing on the first part. Now we're reboxing. Now we're going to do it sleeve. Okay. Ta-da! Okay. Remember, that's not going to fit until it's finished gluing on there. There's our kitty cat right there. Okay. So we'll kind of give you a three-dimensional of what we did here. Completing this kit. And right there is that right there. That all in there is inside this door. There's the front. All the information is in the description. Tap the power button up here. rotate that. Go inside our little store. We have a little detective agency. The staircase going up and up there. Let me see what it looks like when I shut the lights off. Follow me. Sammy? Sammy? Come on. Sammy. He's not listening. So you can see it shining upstairs, those little lights. There we go, brighten it up a little bit. Lovely. Don't really have, we only have really the front sides here. Let's see if I can do something here. Over the phone. You feel like you're going into the store. All the advertisements. Just want to grab some ramen and get a drink from the slushy machine. Get a popsicle. Some popsicles. Slushy machine in the back there. Get some rotisserie right here. Some rotisserie there. And then go to the cashier and pay. Or run out of the store. Whatever tickles your fancy. I don't believe in that because I believe in karma. So what do you think? Beika-Cho convenience store. Let me mosey on over here and bring the cat back inside. Stay here, buddy. Okay. Now we're back with lights on. Come back over yonder. There's your building. Pretty good sized little building, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's still a teeny tiny miniature, but sassy. Well, this is Real Talk Chimp. Thank you for joining me for part 1, part 2. And I think this is part 2, or maybe part 3, I don't know. I've lost track. We've had some ups and downs. We've had to modify parts. Kind of a bummer, but the fitment and the fitment and stuff is a little wonky, so we had to modify things. But overall, I think we built a pretty good kit. Remember, this kit is about 40 bucks. The real kit that's made in Japan is over $300, and I'm sure the quality control is a lot better. So, cool. All right. If you like this type of content, hit that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. And share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. And comment, always comment, even when this gets archived onto YouTube. Comment if you liked anything in particular. And share, I already said that. Subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to get to 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. So got a power button up here, power button on, power button off. I would keep it off when you're not using it, so that you don't wear out the batteries, but I showed you how to put the batteries in and out. So yeah, cool. Real Talk Chimp, live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace and chicken grease, everyone. All right. Take a little tour. Tour. Very cool.